I share what I'm listening to and my thoughts on music and the business daily for free at helloyassine.com. What's poppin', y'all? It looks like we're getting early projection numbers for the next week when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's newest album to many people, GNX. So it's set to sell 230,000 copies next week and return to number one. Now, there is a bit of a finesse on this. I posted this on Instagram at helloyassine. You can follow me there. But there is more. I talked about this, or I posted this on Instagram, and 130,000 of those are album equivalent units, which means physicals, digitals, whatever it is. And a lot of people are saying that their vinyls came in this past weekend and they started shipping them out. So if you guys remember, Kendrick Lamar and his team, they sold a lot of GNX physicals, bundles, whatever you want to call it, back when the album came out months ago, and they said that they would ship it out in February. At this point in time, I think it was before we even knew that the Super Bowl was going to happen. And people were wondering, well, why isn't he shipping them out same week? Because if you're not familiar, many big artists ship them out the same week, or they do pre-orders. So Travis Scott, he ships everything out the same week. That's how 4x4 went number one. Same thing for a lot of Travis Scott albums. So they have a lot of inventory ahead of time. They don't have to do pre-orders for the inventory, which takes time. Taylor Swift does the same thing. That's how she's able to get outrageous, almost impossible first week numbers, and people love to buy her physical stuff. So those are two examples. With this case, they decided to delay it to the Super Bowl, which is brilliant by Kendrick Lamar's team. Man, hats off to these guys. They've done an excellent job. The management, whoever is in charge or helping market him, like, this is such an amazing job. I don't think I've seen anything like it in such a years, since Travis Scott, really. So 130,000 will be units that were basically sold months ago. So we can't really count them for the hype now, but they're shipping them now so they make sure he goes number one. That still means that 100,000 will be from streaming equivalent units. So if we want to see and actually gauge how much it bumped up in terms of the Super Bowl, how much people wanted to check out GNX, we're going to have to check out how much it did in streaming the past week. So if we look at the past week for Kendrick Lamar's GNX, it did 63,000 in sales, almost 64,000, with 1,100 coming from albums and 61,800 coming from streaming equivalent albums. So 61,800 units. If you do the streams on that, the calculation is roughly 92.7 million streams in the United States alone for that project. Now, if we're going to calculate the jump up from 61,000 or 62,000 to 100,000, which is what it's set to do, it could do more. We don't know for sure. You're going to have to add another 38,000, let's say. 38,000. You times that by 1,500, because 1,500 streams on an album, or let's say on a song on the album, is going to be equivalent to one sale. So that would mean that he got 57 million extra streams on the GNX album than he did in the United States alone, than he did the prior week. That is a big jump. That means a lot of people are checking this out. But one more important thing to note, there are two singles that are vying for number one this week, and they're both by Kendrick Lamar. One is Luther with SZA, and the other is Not Like Us. And this is important because we got to give credit to Kendrick Lamar for this, and credit in a respect manner, because he didn't put Not Like Us on GNX. If he had put Not Like Us on GNX, Not Like Us is fighting to go number one again, it would have boosted the sales for this project significantly. So that wasn't on it. Luther was, though. So Luther with SZA is going to boost the sales of this project, because if it's vying to go number one, we're likely going to see a lot of TEA, not the other T that gets spilled, track equivalent albums. So I want to see the makeup. So for this week, the track equivalent albums are 654, which means since all of the songs on an album are streamed now, and most people aren't consuming a full album, what they do to calculate the full sales of the album is if a bunch of people bought a single, or if a bunch of people streamed a single, it contributes to the whole pie of the album. So a lot of people may just listen to Luther with SZA. And if, let's say, 50, 100 million people listen to that one song, that will boost the sales of the album a lot. But it doesn't mean that people listened that much to the album, to the full album. So we're going to have to see how much the track equivalent streams jump. That's going to be a really important metric that I want to check out because it's the Super Bowl, man. People are going to choose a song or they're going to Shazam a song. It's very unlike, most people don't even listen to full-on albums nowadays anyway. If you think about it, most of the albums, for them to chart and continuously stay on the charts is because they had one or two hits. And that's just the nature of how music is consumed now. Like, for instance, Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, has been on the charts for a very long time. She's had multiple of those songs on radio. There's hit songs, multiple, for them to stay on for that long. But regardless, you have to stream a ton more to be able to bump the sales. So even if people are just searching for Luther, it's still a testament to the fact that they like the song and they want to check it out. And Not Like Us not being on GNX harms it for the simple fact that it doesn't get as many streams. But I think it is also a brilliant example of Kendrick Lamar towing this line between, it's funny because it reminds me of the Billboard cover story. I think it was Billboard or it was another magazine where they called him the conscious capitalist. And some people have used this against him in certain ways. I think I may have been one of those people to critique him at times. Well, mostly his fans that think he's like this pure soul. But I think he toes the line perfectly with, hey, we're going to ship these physicals, or with his team. But obviously they have to consult him before they make these decisions. We're going to ship these physicals, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that your numbers look great. But one of those things that would make his numbers look great is if he had Not Like Us on GNX. Not Like Us is still getting streamed. It's still in the top 40. And let's just see how far Not Like Us will jump up and how powerful the Super Bowl is. Because on the Hot 100 for this week, keep in mind, both of them are fighting for number 1 next week. Kendrick Lamar's songs, Luther has been at number 3, and TV Off was at number 10, and Not Like Us is at 15. So remember those chart positions. Not Like Us is still in the top 15, 39 weeks on the charts, and it bumped up from 29. So from 29 to 15, it went the week before. So that's one of the most streamed songs. So now imagine you got a song that's in the top 15 and the top number 10 and number 3 all on the same album. That's going to do a lot of streams. So GNX could have been, hell, maybe even doing 270 or 260 if he had Not Like Us on it. But he chose not to have it on for whatever reason. But it's got to be a reason close to his heart or something to do with integrity, because everyone else would throw it on there. I mean, we've seen, you guys know the deal. Everyone makes fun of French Montana for this. He's thrown songs on there that don't even really belong to him. Like, he was just a feature on. Or sometimes we've seen artists put songs that they're not even on their projects in order to stream more or in order to be able to go gold. I think that was the situation with French Montana. He's like, yo, I went gold in a day. And they're like, how? You just sold like 6K copies first week. And it was because he put a previous single. And they did this with Dior. They put Dior on like 5 different Pop Smoke albums. So credit to Kendrick Lamar for not putting Not Like Us on there. And I think it'll allow GNX to be seen in a different light, in a more respected light in the years to come. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com. Thank you for watching. Peace.